Welcome to LATAMPaper July 26 edition. The World Cup is almost over. Plenty of emotion out on the pitch. Uncertainty is still running high, and we've got a lot to share.
Global economy. The Middle East energy shock now dominates the outlook. The World Bank cut 2026 global growth to 2.5%, while EY sees the conflict shaving approximately 0.6 ppt off growth and lifting inflation toward 4.7% by Q4I, a stagflationary mix that hits fuel-importing economies hardest. Demand is decisively K-shaped. AI capex remains the one durable engine, but appears to have peaked. U.S. demand softens in H2 as fiscal support fades. China moderates to approximately 4.5% on weak consumption, and lower-income households everywhere are squeezed by sticky prices and high rates. Sentiment has deteriorated sharply. In the latest McKinsey survey, nearly two-thirds of executives said global conditions worsened over the prior 6 months, the most since June 2022, with geopolitical instability now the top-cited threat to growth and 61% already diversifying supply chains or shifting footprint. Bottom line, growth is slowing but not collapsing. Inflation is re-accelerating on energy, and risks are firmly to the downside. Strait of Hormuz escalation, commodity disruptions, U.S.-China friction, and a possible AI-driven equity correction are the wild cards to watch. Latin America. The region loses momentum into year-end, with GDP growth revised down to 2.2% for 2026 amid weaker private consumption, sticky services inflation, a likely rebound in fresh food inflation, and a K-shaped split where upper-income households sustain demand while middle and lower-income spending stays squeezed by stagnant wages and tight credit. Country performance diverges. Brazil and Peru gain momentum, while Mexico and Chile slow. Mexico the clear underperformer as USMCA uncertainty drags on investment. On exports, the picture stays constructive but bifurcated. Metals and food commodities anchor growth for Chile, Peru, and Argentina. Brazilian protein keeps redirecting to Asia, now boosted by the EU-Mercosur deal, opening European access for protein, fruit, and grain. Mexican fresh produce, avocados, berries, tomatoes, and Ecuadorian flowers hold their U.S. share. And pulp and paper ride agribusiness-driven corrugated demand, though softwood oversupply pressures fiber pricing. Oil is the clear soft spot. Subdued prices on weak Chinese demand hit Colombia, Ecuador, and Brazil.
In containerboard, virgin paper supply is still very tight, and we don't have much clarity on when that's going to ease up. My take is that it stays tight for the rest of the year, since a lot of mills are carrying a significant backlog and box plants are building stock. The high agricultural season kicks off around October, so a lot of players are already building inventory ahead of that. El Niño will have some impact, but we don't yet know how big of an issue it'll turn out to be. On recycled papers, we're seeing more supply coming into the market than we had before. Worth watching what happens in August to get a real read on where that trend is heading. Pulp BHKP is finally moving lower after months of suppliers holding firm against buyer pressure. The down cycle is officially underway. The real question now is where it bottoms out, and the answer comes down to the marginal Chinese producer's cost structure. Rising wood costs over the past year have pushed that break-even level meaningfully higher than where we saw the floor in the last down cycle, which tells me there's still room for further price concessions before this stabilizes. But the floor itself is higher this time around than it was last cycle. Worth watching closely over the coming months for signs of capacity curtailments, since that's usually the signal that we found the bottom.
Thank you for watching. See you soon.